Are we going to take back America on November 2nd? Are we going to take back America on November 2nd? It's great to see so many folks out here because all of you understand what is at stake in this election. Every single individual here understands that elections have consequences. And they certainly did 2 years ago, but I think a lot of folks are having a lot of buyer's remorse. Not just Republicans, but independents and Democrats alike, because you all understand that our nation is in jeopardy. The very economic viability and prosperity of our country is at risk in this election. That is what is at stake. You all know we have a $13 trillion national debt. That is outrageous. You all know that all we have are $2.2 trillion in revenues, which pays for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, entitlements. Everything else is debt being piled on our children, on our grandchildren, on future generations. That's why it's so important for you all to be here. Because we need to send a message to Washington. Number one, they need to listen to what the states are doing. States like Florida. Let me tell you what we've done here in Florida. In Florida, we have a constitutional amendment to balance the budget. If it's good enough for Florida, it's good enough for Washington. In Florida, we have a constitutional amendment with term limits. If term limits are good enough for Florida, they're good enough for Washington too. These past couple of years, I've been in charge of the budget, and we've had deficits. We've balanced the budget, at the same time we've cut taxes. I sponsored a bill to eliminate forever retroactive property taxes in the state of Florida. Never again can a property appraiser hit you for an addition or modification retroactively on your taxes. We outlawed the sales tax for an entire weekend in the state of Florida to make sure that all of you, consumers, taxpayers, will get some relief and put some money back in your pockets. If tax cuts are good enough for Florida, they're good enough for Washington as well. And the first thing we did, that's not what I was doing. And the first thing I did when I became the budget chair, I eliminated completely earmarks. No more earmarks in the budget of the state of Florida. They've eliminated earmarks. They're good enough for Florida. They're good enough for Washington as well. And then finally, just so you all know, just so we're clear, the first decision a newly elected congressman has to make is a vote on who will be the presiding officer in the House of Representatives. And I guarantee you, and I am committing to you, that my first action, my first vote in Congress will be to fire Nancy Pelosi as the Now please, take this energy forward. We've got a month to go until Election Day. On Monday, 2 days from now, the absentee ballots go out in Collier County. Ballots are going to be all over this county. We need to make sure that people return those ballots and vote. So that we can send this message to Washington and to the politicians up there that are ruining and bankrupting our country. Please make sure for the next month we get everybody out to vote. We can't stop here. It cannot stop with this rally. It's got to go all the way to November 2nd until we take America back. Thank you very much.
Themselves what they desire. However, there are others of you here today who still have an optimistic view for our nation, despite how dim our prospects might seem. Although there are reasons to be concerned or even fearful, today we all believe that America is still that shining city on the hill. Even though that is our vision and that is our hope for America, make no mistake, we have plenty of work left to do. I'm a young man. I'm 32 years old. I have a wife, 2 young sons, and recently we found out we're going to have a 3rd child. For the past 2 years, I have watched what used to be a slow march to statism become a sprint under this government led by the progressive left. For the past 80 years, the left has been giving us deals and benefits. The New Deal, the Great Society, prescription drugs, stimulus packages, bailouts, and healthcare reform. Each of these deals comes with we, the people, turning over more of our liberty and private property to the left in return for so-called security. For decades now, we conservatives have been mostly quiet. we've been living our lives, nurturing our families, and supporting our churches and synagogues. While the left has been organizing and protesting in the name of social justice and equal outcomes, we conservatives watched from a distance. The consequences of these deals from the left have left us with trillion-dollar deficits, with a $13.5 trillion national debt, and $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities, of which we don't have a single dollar. No matter how dim our prospects might seem, today I tell you as a young American, I have more hope for our future because I stand before a sea of conservative patriots who seek to take the reins of power from the progressive left. We have an election in 1 month. In the past, the left has sought to divide the American people along any possible line in order to win elections and to advance their cause. This year, the battle line has been class warfare. They're talking about tax cuts for the rich, the disappearing middle class, and income inequality. The president has been saying that we can't go back to the so-called failed policies that got us to this point. The problem for the left is they think their mission is to make the so-called middle class, of which I am a part of, upset with the so-called rich. What they don't realize is this election is not about rich versus poor. This election is about our collective economic future, which relies on the success of all Americans. Recently, I had a conversation with my mother. As a young black American, I felt it necessary to explain to her why I will be talking to all of you. Toward the end of our conversation, I told her that my future does not lie in 1950 America or 1850 America, but my future lies in 2043 America, when the national debt and interest on that debt will consume all federal income taxes collected. My future lies in 2037 America, when according to the Social Security Administration, Social Security won't have enough money to pay the benefits it says it will pay today. The elites, they call you racists. But this election is not about black versus whites. This election is about the future of our nation, a future where if the left has its way, the color of your skin will not exempt you from paying significantly higher taxes to pay for the burden of a bankrupt federal government. Ladies and gentlemen, the political war ahead of us is going to be a series of uphill battles where the left has already taken the high ground. For the past 15 months, we have become active and we have organized like never before. The first battle for our future comes in 1 month, when we take the first step to restoring America to its founding principles. As conservatives and as Americans, we cannot afford to lose this battle, but we will win. Because we are on the right side of history, because we conservatives are the majority, because our resolve will not be broken, and because, and most importantly, we will remember in November. Don't back down. Don't give up. This is the right place, and this is the right time to restore America to that shining city in all its glory. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.